Welcome to Indian Ridge Country Club, featuring an 18-hole championship golf course with breathtaking scenery and a challenging layout that provides the ultimate setting for a round of golf. Indian Ridge is recognized as one of the finest golf courses in New England by both professionals and amateurs alike. This Jeffrey Cornish designed course was constructed in 1962 and has a classic New England feel with tree-lined fairways and rolling hills. The first hole is a challenging 402-yard par 4 with the opening shot from an elevated tee box to a wide fairway below. The second swing of the day requires added concentration, as players generally hit a mid to long iron over a water hazard to a large green that slants from back to front. Players will want to keep the ball below the hole all day to prevent additional strokes on the card. The second hole at Indian Ridge is a demanding 190-yard par 3 with a green that is well protected on the front edge and on the right side by large bunkers. A long iron or fairway metal off the tee will enable players to carry the ball over the front bunkers and onto the green. Shots to the front will avoid tricky putts on this forward-sloping green. The third hole is a long par 4, best played right up the center of the fairway. This 440-yard dogleg left can be trouble if your tee shot is short or left. The approach shot is up a narrow tree-lined fairway to a well-protected green on all sides. The green is a severe back-to-front slope, and a front hole location requires pinpoint accuracy to avoid a downhill putt that will typically run off the front of the green. The fourth hole is the shortest par 5 on the golf course at 454 yards. This tricky dogleg right is best played with a gentle fade off the tee. The green is reachable in 2 shots for long hitters, and players choosing a 3-shot strategy will have to hit down a narrow fairway protected on the right side by a water hazard. It is a must to be below the pin on this forward-sloping green to avoid downhill and side-hill slippery putts. Hole 5 is a 340-yard par 4. Players need to hit an accurate tee shot up a narrow tree-lined fairway with bunkers long and left and up the right side. The second shot requires precision to an uphill 2-tiered green that is well protected in the front by 2 deep bunkers. If the pin is in the back, it'll be the first flat putt of the day. Number 6 is the shortest par 4 on the golf course at 325 yards. The tee shot is a driver or long iron, depending on your second shot strategy. Players choosing to lay back will take a full swing into the green, and big hitters will chase the drive down the fairway and hit a delicate chip shot over the steep-faced bunker protecting the front of the narrow green. The green slants from left to right unless you hit the ball over the pin to the back right. In that case, your putt will be downhill all the way. The 7th hole is a deceiving par 3 that plays slightly longer than the yardage dictates. The tee shot is a mid to long iron to a large green protected on all sides by bunkers. The green slants from back to front, and anything above the pin can make for a challenging 2-putt. Number 8 is a 370-yard par 4, featuring one of the widest fairways on the golf course. A solid tee shot down the middle will set you up for a short iron into the kidney-shaped green, which has bunkers protecting back right hole locations. It is a moderate forward-sloping green, and it is wise to be putting from below the hole. The 9th hole is best played with a slight draw over the right edge of the pond that separates 9 and 18 fairways. Big hitters must beware, as the second pond is reachable at 270 yards. Players taking the 3-shot approach will hit their second shot over the water hazard to a landing area between 75 and 100 yards. The approach shot is typically a short wedge to an elevated two-tiered green. If the pin is in the front left, then don't be long. If the pin is on the upper tier, it's a large, relatively flat putting surface. The 10th hole is a par 4, surrounded by towering pines that frame a narrow, undulating fairway. A well-placed drive of 230 yards gives the player a view of the green and avoids having a blind second shot. Choosing a little less club for the downhill approach is a wise strategy because any shot over this green leads to a very difficult recovery. One of the most challenging holes on the course is the 444-yard number 11. This long par 4 requires a big straight drive off the tee to even think about going for the green in 2. The approach shot is typically a mid to long iron down the hill and over the water hazard to a big flat putting surface below. The par 5 12th hole plays longer than its 507 yards, as it is uphill all the way. A good drive down the middle will leave you in the rolling swells on the fairway. The second shot is to an elevated fairway, and most players will hit a long or mid-iron to set up the approach. The approach shot is typically a short iron or wedge to an elevated green that is once again forward slanting. It's wise to play below the hole on this green, as the side hill and downhill putts are extremely slippery. 2 putts on number 12 is always a win. The par 3 13th hole plays a bit shorter than the 188 yards from the back tees. The tee shot is from an elevated tee box down to the widest green on the golf course. Players must be careful not to hit it short and right, as the steep-faced bunker protecting the green is a difficult up and down. Number 14 is one of the most challenging holes on the course. Long straight hitters will have a distinct advantage on this long 460-yard par 4 with a blind tee shot up the hill to an elevated fairway. The approach shot is a long iron or fairway metal to an elevated green. Anything less than an accurate approach shot will leave players with a difficult up and down. Par on this hole is cause for celebration. The 363-yard par 4 15th is a narrow driving hole with multiple bunkers strategically placed on either side of the fairway. The approach is a downhill shot to a large green, protected on the front right side by a large, steep-faced bunker. Misfires on this hole, long or right of the green, can result in a big score. Number 16 is the shortest hole on the course. This 135-yard par 3 requires an accurate tee shot over a pond to a large green that is well bunkered in front. The green is relatively flat unless the hole location is placed on the front edge. The 17th hole is a 387-yard par 4 with a fairway that drops off to a lower level at 270 yards. Hitting the fairway on this hole is key, as missed shots left or right can be blocked by trees. The approach shot is to a well-bunkered, moderately elevated green, which is narrow and wide. Players will want to be close to the hole on this green, as the side hill putts can be a bit slippery. The par 5 finishing hole plays longer than its 491 yards. The tee shot is blind and up a hill to an elevated fairway. Long drives that reach the flat in front of the water hazard will be able to go for the green in 2. Players with a 3-shot approach will hit their second shot over the water hazard to an uphill fairway that generally kicks the ball to the right side. The approach shot is a short wedge with uneven footing to a forward-sloping green with a severe drop-off on the front right side. Players must use precision to assure being below the pin for an uphill putt.